It's another day in a country where resilience is praised, yet hardship remains the norm. We'll be confronting the challenges facing the Nigerian state, from the issues of economic distress and rising insecurity issues that affect everyone, whether you are in the bustling cities or the rural villages.
Especially as yet another protest is set to hold on the 21st of July, a demonstration against poor pay for security forces in the nation. Though these protests has been frowned against by some, protests have consistently emerged across the country over nagging economic challenges. Join us for today's conversation is Convener Revolution Now Movement, Mr. Omoyele Sowore. A warm welcome to you and thanks for joining us on Breakfast Central. We're happy to have you join us this morning. Now, Mr. Sowore, as we speak this morning, flags are flying at half-mast across the country, and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has declared a 7-day mourning period as a mark of respect on the passing of former President Muhammadu Buhari. What's your reaction to his passing, and how would you remember his legacy as president in those 8 years, and also as a former military president?
I have nothing to say to anyone other than to say that it's very sad that we are even having a conversation about mourning a person who left this country broken, did everything he could, everything Buhari touched, he destroyed. He destroyed human rights, he destroyed the economy, he destroyed the dignity of a person, he destroyed the social cohesion of the nation known as Nigeria. And I'm not one of the persons who was out there pretending that I miss him. I don't miss him. I was also one of his personal victims, and this is a time to really commiserate and show empathy to his victims from when he was a soldier, someone who participated in killing of people in the Southeast for 30 months during what is now known as the Nigerian Civil War. When he was a military head of state, he violated human rights. He extrajudicially killed some young people who they accused of carrying drugs. When he came back the second time, you know his story. Yes, killings of Shiites, killings of people in southern Kaduna, the killings of NSAS protesters in Lagos, killings for the second time of southeastern young people who were branded as IPOB, the destruction of the Nigerian economy, the destruction of the healthcare system, to the point that he himself had to die in a clinic in London because they didn't care about building anything here in Nigeria, which is the country they govern. So it's been a terrible legacy, and I'm not one of the people who want to be politically correct, because I see a lot of politicians falling over themselves trying to pen tributes to Buhari as if Buhari was the best thing to happen to Nigeria since the invention of peanut butter. He wasn't, and that's the truth. And I've also seen some of his victims, poor kids in Kano jubilating on the street. I've seen people with bullhorn announcing his death quite derisively. So it's, for me, on a personal level, Buhari was responsible for the death of my younger brother. Buhari violated my rights. Buhari is responsible for why my mom had stroke since 5 years ago. So I said those on the personal level. But this is not personal vendetta. This is about a very honest assessment of a guy who came, who ruined, and now has departed the world.
Well, you did mention that he was responsible for some of the impacts, I would say negative impacts on your family and other things as well. But while we want you to touch on that, because we don't know how that happened, and although you said it's not personal vendetta, some would also argue that he was just a president. And some of the things that Nigerians went through, take for instance, NSAS and the likes, didn't directly fall on his table. I mean, NSAS we know was pan-Nigeria, but it was mostly heavy in Lagos, and there was a governor. The governor also did take a report to President Muhammadu Buhari in a picture book to show to him. So many would say we should cut him some slack because he wasn't really in charge of what could have taken place in the state. So how is it that we may blame him for many things that did go wrong?
Well, you can say whatever you want to say about whomever said that, but we are just here not to brainwash people. We're here to tell you the truth about what is historically true about his tenure. He's the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. The armed forces, particularly the Nigerian army, cannot operate without, on such a scale, cannot operate without a direct order from the president. You can't be deployed. They're not, the state governor, where I'm not exonerating because I know all of them were involved. The state governor, Sanwo-Olu, was involved. The current president, Tinubu, was involved in what happened to the NSAS people because they were the ones who prepared the ground for the killing. They were removing cameras. They were the ones who had threatened that something bad would happen. They even notified some of the NSAS protesters, celebrities, that they're going to kill people. But the person who gave the order was Buhari. And Buhari did say it before, after NSAS, somebody told him that if nothing is done about the NSAS protesters, they might enter his living room in Aso Rock one day. So he was very aware. But, Nigerians, we love to give excuses for bad behavior, and this is part of our nature. I'm not saying about every Nigerian, but some Nigerians. But I have stated these facts that are true, and I have no reason to believe that something otherwise happened. He is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, okay. And to now claim that he didn't know what happened is to be helping them, to be helping them play the ostrich.
Now, Mr. Sowore, we have quite a lot to unpack today, so I'm just going to put out this final question on the passing of the late President Muhammadu Buhari. In a video that is currently circulating in a quite sobering tone, the late President did do some personal reflections, and he did say that in the course of discharging his duties as President of Nigeria, he might have wronged people, carried out some injustices, and he's human and is asking for forgiveness. Would you be willing to forgive him for personal wrongs and wrongdoings to yourself, an injury to your family, knowing that he has passed? On someday, we will all have to answer to our makers.
Well, there's no point gaslighting anybody by saying, "Oh, would you be willing to forgive somebody who did evil?" I'm not questioning Buhari's attack on my family alone. I'm talking about his killing of Shiites. About 1,000 of them that he killed, and El-Rufai helped him bury. It was between him, Buratai, and El-Rufai. He killed over 1,000 Shiites overnight. Men, women, and children. You have to ask how these people feel to be cut short in life because somebody felt offended, or somebody was a religious bigot, or sectional leader. You want to ask how people feel at NSAS to be waving the Nigerian flag during a peaceful protest, and for soldiers to just come and mow people down, and then beyond that, just deny. When you want to ask for atonement of sin, even in religious circles, the first thing you do is to confess. He just came and said, "Well, forgive me because I'm human." That's not how you to ask for forgiveness. You have to be specific. What did you do wrong? Who did you kill? Who are you asking for forgiveness from? And then it's the prerogative of the person that you're asking for forgiveness from to forgive you. So we have not asked the victims whether they are forgiving him. That's why today should be dedicated to the victims of Buhari's ruinous legacy, his legacy of tyranny and destruction of the Nigerian country. So it is not up to us to sit here and say, "Oh, he made a 30-second video." And the destruction he did was over 8 years, so it cannot be rectified by 30 seconds video. A half-hearted apology. even though white people say, yeah, but he never apologized. He just maybe he had seen his medical records by then that he was on his way to Golgotha, and he just wanted to mock people. That's that I say as mockery.
All right. I mean, there's just to move on to our next conversation, which is key. Let's look at the protest that has been slated to hold this month of July. But before then, let's also inform you that there is a footage that's circulated online showing the late president's daughter having visited the medical center where he passed, and also came out crying. It's an amateur footage there showing the late president's family, daughter, presumably we do here, and also shows when she did come out and also shedding tears due to the death of her late father. Very, very sad there. But we'll come back to this conversation as we progress in the course of this, talk. Let's move on now. Let's talk about the protest that's coming up. You want to shed more light on why a protest now, and haven't we had too many protests a time? It seems like the protests keep coming and they keep coming, and some Nigerians have said it's less effective. What's this latest one again?
Well, when people say protests are less effective, you ask them, then why is the government worried when there's a plan for a protest? They're very effective. Maybe people who say they are not effective don't understand the power of protest. People decide to protest as their own response to wrongs in society, as their own response or their own way of rectifying what is wrong. So, but as far as this is concerned, this is mainly focused on the wrongs being done to security agencies, particularly Nigerian police, whose condition of service, pension, payments, gratuity, and their general life is, face significant difficulties because of lack of pay, lack of care, lack of equipment, insurance, and those other things that should accompany the job of an average worker. They don't have a living wage. They don't live in conditions of housing that is even anyone can describe as decent. So they are the ones who chose July 21st, by the way. We're just doing this in solidarity with them because we believe that their cause is genuine, and we believe that these issues ought to have been addressed for a long time ago, and they've not been addressed. And we believe that they have the power to change their socioeconomic objective conditions. So that's what this protest has been planned for. And we expect that the policemen who are affected, especially the rank and file, will down tools. They will refuse to work on that day. They are the ones who will plan how they want to do it, but we're just advising and encouraging them to not work starting from July 1st. Some of them have indicated that they will drop their tools the day before, the night before, and to make sure that people understand the value that they add to society. And like I've stated severally, we don't have to prove to anybody that we believe in effective policing or that we believe in discipline. This is not a support for the shenanigans of the Nigerian police force, i.e. extortion, torture, and every other thing that we know them to do terribly. But this is our own way of saying, look, you all have families, you're part of us, you're part of our society, and we need you. And we can't keep you in your position working day and night for us, protecting the society and our communities without a care for well-being. So that's where that came from, if you want to know. Whereas, yes.
Now, Mr. Sowore, is this not an invitation to anarchy, knowing that the police they're the first line responders to protecting lives and properties? They are there to secure the lives of Nigerians. Are there no other means of addressing the issues that concern the Nigerian police other than using a protest? And the type of protest you're saying might happen is them downing tools. If there are criminals watching this program now, they would just set the first of, they will choose a date and say, look, this is the day we want to carry out our nefarious activities. And also, knowing that the Nigerian police has wronged you in the course of your activism so many times, you've been a victim of police brutality in Nigeria. Why are you taking this upon yourself? Is it just a welfare issue, or shouldn't there be larger conversations around police reforms and just restructuring the entirety of the Nigerian police rather than just a welfare issue? Because the fire service will tell you we also have welfare issues, the soldiers will tell you we have welfare issues, and NSCDC rather.
Well, to answer your first question about anarchy, I think what people should be concerned about mostly is Nigeria has been, as a result of the way we have treated these men and women in uniform. We are already in a state of anarchy because they are not well paid, they are not well fed, they are not well clothed, they are not well housed. We're already in that state already. We've reached a state where the police no longer crime, they care. They also have become part of the criminal gangs ravaging the country. You and I know that a lot. So it's an action that is aimed at rectifying what will become a total breakdown of law and order if we keep going on this path. It's a perilous path for everybody. If one day you wake up, the guy you bought or you gave an AK-47 decide to turn it on you because they have been complaining quietly over time and you don't listen to them. That is what is anarchy. It is that we're experiencing now. It's a total state of lawlessness to not even adhere to the laws of the land, which says you must pay people a certain amount of money if they go to work, and that wage must be living wage. It's a violation of even I think it was chapter 2 of the Constitution, or is it chapter 4? I don't know exactly what of the chapters. I say that the nation must exist for the well-being of its people and its workers. And I'm quoting the Constitution I don't believe in. But let's just agree for a second that there's a constitution in place that we're running. So it's very explicit. And the second aspect of it, which is my own personal feelings of what the police have done to me over the years. Yes, I've been through a lot in the hands of police. I've been shot at, broken nose, I've been detained, I've been rough-handed. There's probably nothing the police hasn't done to me. So as far back as 1998, I was arrested at the protest at the University of Lagos, placed with people they call armed robbers. That's the first time I discovered SARS in Lagos at Ikeja. During my struggle for democracy, I was detained at Area F. I was detained in every police formation. When I came to Abuja in 2019, my nose was broken. I was detained in a Batio, which is one of the worst police stations in Abuja. I've been detained there twice now. I've been detained at the terrible police formation at the FCID, in a cell that's inside another cell. So there's nothing I haven't been through in the hands of the police, but that's not a reason for us to abandon our responsibilities. And what our conscience tells us is right about doing right by our policemen. And you also mentioned that there are other security agencies, the army, paramilitary, and military organizations, the police. Well, this is symbolic, and what we have asked all of them to do, if you are hurting really bad, join in on July 21st, so that all of these can be taken at once. But if you are quiet about your situation, we will work with those who are willing, who have indicated that they are willing to fight for their well-being and who have stepped forward. And these are mostly policemen. But if you are part of NCDC, if you are in immigration, if you are in customs, if you are in any of these paramilitary organizations, and you want to join in, please feel free. This is not limited to the police. In fact, the more people we have, the merrier. And the more people join this, You can imagine if we have 10,000 policemen, paramilitary organization, everybody joining in on July 21st. The federal government immediately do something. I can guarantee you that because they can't even afford a 1 minute strike. You're thinking about society and criminals. No, it's the people that benefit the most from police are those in power. They are the ones who refuse to take charge or take care of their needs. Most Nigerians don't even have access to a policeman, but look at, and a governor in Nigeria has over 200 policemen guarding them. Celebrities have 20 policemen. You have traditional rulers have policemen. Even religious leaders who tell you to believe in protection from God, first and foremost, use police protection. They don't even wait for God. Even when they want to fight you, they use the police. They don't wait for God. So you must understand that this is way more. And I've always said this, that I'm surprised that these are the same people who are quiet about the police situation. And that's why policemen should understand who their references are. And do not let this whole blackmail that, if you strike, criminals will take over. They have turned you into criminals anyway by way of the conditions to which you're subjected in service. It should not be a crime to serve Nigeria, but that's what these guys are experiencing on what they are paid, gratuity, pensions, salaries, emoluments, and what their big bosses are doing to harm their careers and their progression in those careers in life. So there's nothing more to tell you other than to say let everybody be set.
Thank you very much.
It's historic.
Thank you so much for your insight and your time, Mr. Omoyele Sowore. Always a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.